Chapter 20 Attack on Mandar. How are you, my friend? What the hell am I doing here? Asked a startled Shiva. He found himself sitting in the Brahma temple in Meru. Sitting in front of him was the Pandit whom he had met during his first visit to Meru many months back. You called me here, said the Pandit smiling. But how and when did I get here? Asked Shiva, astounded. As soon as you went to sleep, replied the Pandit. This is a dream. I will be damned. Why do you swear so much? Asked the Pandit, frowning. I only swear when the occasion demands, grinned Shiva. And what's wrong with swearing? Well, I think it reflects poor manners. It shows perhaps a slight deficiency in character. On the contrary, I think it shows a tremendous character. It shows that you have the strength and passion to speak your mind. The Pandit guffawed, shaking his head slightly. In any case, continued Shiva, now that you are here, why don't you tell me what you people are called? I was promised I would be told the next time I met one of you. But you haven't met one of us again. This is a dream. I can only tell you what you already know, said the Pandit, smiling mysteriously. Or something that already exists in your consciousness that you haven't chosen to listen to as yet. So that's what this is all about. You are here to help me discover something I already know. Yes, said the Pandit, his smile growing more enigmatic. Well, what is it that we are supposed to talk about? The color of that leaf, beamed the Pandit, pointing towards the many trees that could be seen from the temple through its ostentatiously curved pillars. The color of that leaf? Yes, frowning strongly, Shiva sighed. Why, in the name of the holy lake, is the color of that leaf important? Many times, a good conversational journey to find knowledge makes attaining it that much more satisfying, said the Pandit. And more importantly, it helps you understand the context of the knowledge much more easily. Context of the knowledge? Yes, all knowledge has its context. Unless you know the context, you may not understand the point. And I will know all that by talking about the color of that leaf? Yes, by the holy lake, man, groaned Shiva. Let's talk about the leaf then. All right, laughed the Pandit. Tell me, what is the color of that leaf? The color, it's green. Is it? Isn't it? Why do you think it appears green to you? Because, said Shiva, amused. It is green? No, that wasn't what I was trying to ask. You had a conversation with one of Brihaspati's scientists about how the eyes see, didn't you? Oh, that, right, said Shiva, slapping his forehead. Light falls on an object, and when it reflects back from that object to your eyes, you see that object. Exactly, and you had another conversation with another scientist about what normal white sunlight is made of. Yes, I did. White light is nothing but the confluence of 7 different colors. That is why the rainbow is made up of 7 colors, since it is formed when raindrops disperse sunlight. Correct. Now put these two theories together and answer my question. Why does that leaf appear green to you? Shiva frowned as his mind worked the problem out. White sunlight falls on that leaf. The leaf's physical properties are such that it absorbs the colors violet, indigo, blue, yellow, orange, and red. It doesn't absorb the color green, which is then reflected back to my eyes. Hence, I see the leaf as green. Exactly, beamed the Pandit. So think about the color of that leaf from the perspective of the leaf itself. What color it absorbs and what it rejects. Is its color green, or is it every single color in the world except green? Shiva was stunned into silence by the simplicity of the argument being presented to him. There are many realities, there are many versions of what may appear obvious, continued the Pandit. Whatever appears as the unshakable truth, its exact opposite may also be true in another context. After all, one's reality is but perception viewed through various prisms of context. Shiva turned slowly towards the leaf again. Its lustrous green color shone through in the glorious sunlight. Are your eyes capable of seeing another reality? Asked the Pandit. Shiva continued to stare at the leaf as it gradually altered its appearance. The color seemed to be dissolving out of the leaf as its bright green hue gradually grew lighter and lighter. It slowly reduced itself to a shade of grey. As a stunned Shiva continued to stare, even the grey seemed to dissolve slowly, till the leaf was almost transparent. Only its outline could be discerned. It appeared as though numerous curved lines of two colors, black and white, were moving in and out of the outline of the leaf. It almost seemed as if the leaf was nothing but a carrier, which the black and white curved lines used as a temporary stop on their eternal journey. It took some time for Shiva to realize that the surrounding leaves had also been transformed into their outlines. As his eyes panned, he noticed that the entire tree had magically transformed into an outline with the black and white curved lines flowing in and out, easily and smoothly. He turned his head to soak in the panorama. Every object, from the squirrels on the trees to the pillar of the temple, had all been transformed into outlines of their apparent selves. The same black and white curved lines streamed in and out of them. Turning to the Pandit for an explanation, he was stunned to see that the priest himself was also transformed into an outline of his former self. White curved lines were flooding out of him with frightening intensity. Strangely, though, there were no black lines around him. What the Shiva's words were stopped by the outline of the Pandit pointing back at him. Look at yourself, my Karam Sathi, advised the Pandit. Shiva looked down. I will be damned. His body too had been transformed into an outline completely transparent inside. Torrents of black curved lines were gushing furiously into him. On close examination, he could see that they were not lines at all. They were, in fact, tiny waves, which were jet black in color. The waves were so tiny that from even a slight distance they appeared like lines. There wasn't even a hint of the white waves close to Shiva's outlined body. What the hell is going on? The white waves are positive energy and the black are negative, said the Pandit's outline. They are both important. Their balance crucial. It will be cataclysmic if they fall out of sync. Shiva looked up at the Pandit, puzzled. So why is there no positive energy around me and no negative energy around you? Because we balance each other. The Vishnu's role is to transmit positive energy, said the Pandit. The white lines pouring feverishly out of the Pandit seemed to flutter a bit whenever he spoke. And the Mahadev's role is to absorb the negative. Search for it. Search for negative energy and you will fulfill your destiny as a Mahadev. But I am no Mahadev. My deeds till now are not deserving of that title. It doesn't work that way, my friend. The title isn't at all the result of one's deeds. Deeds, however noble, will follow. the rightful belief in you that you are the Mahadev. It matters little what other things. Believe you are the Mahadev and you will become one. Shiva frowned. Believe, repeated the Pandit. Boom! A distant reverberation echoed through the ambience. Shiva turned his eyes towards the horizon. It sounds like an explosion, whispered the Pandit's outline. The distant, insistent voice of Sati came riding in. Shiva? Boom! Another explosion. Shiva! It looks like your wife needs you, my friend. Shiva looked with astonishment at the outline of the Pandit, unable to decipher where the sound came from. Maybe you should wake up, advised the Pandit's disembodied voice. Shiva! A groggy Shiva woke up to find Sati staring at him with concern. He was still a little blurry from the outlandishly strange dream state that he had just been yoked out of. Shiva, boom! What the hell was that? Cried Shiva. Alert now. Someone is using Devi Astras. What are Devi Astras? A clearly stunned Sati spoke agitatedly. Divine weapons, but Lord Rudra had destroyed all the Devya Astras. Nobody has access to them anymore. Shiva was completely alert by now, his battle instincts primed. Sati, get ready, wear your armor, bind your weapons. Sati responded swiftly. Shiva slipped on his armor, coupled his shield to it, and tied his sword to his waist. He slipped on his quiver smoothly and picked up his bow. Nothing that Sati was ready. He kicked the door open. Taman and 8 other guards had their swords drawn, ready to defend their Nilkantha against any attack. My lord, you should wait inside, said Taman. We will hold the attackers here. Shiva stared hard at Taman, frowning at his well-intentioned words. Taman immediately stepped aside. I'm sorry, my lord, we will follow you. But Shiva could react. They heard footsteps rushing in towards them in the hallway. Shiva immediately drew his sword. He strained his ears to assess the threat. 4 footsteps, just 2 men to attack a royal hallway. This didn't make sense. One pair of footsteps dragged slightly. The terrorist was clearly a large man using considerable willpower to make his feet move faster than his girth allowed. Stand down, soldiers, ordered Shiva suddenly. They are friends. Nandi and Veerbhadra emerged around the corner, running hard with their swords at the ready. Are you all right, my lord? Asked Nandi, admirably not out of breath. Yes, we are all safe. Did the 2 of you face any attacks? No, answered Veerbhadra, frowning. What the hell is going on? I don't know, said Shiva, but we are going to find out. Where's Kritika? Asked Sati. Safe in her room, answered Veerbhadra. There are 5 soldiers with her. The room is barred from the inside. Sati nodded before turning to Shiva. What now? I want to check on the emperor first. Everybody files off too. Keep your shields up for cover. Sati at my side. Nandi in the middle. Taman, Veerbhadra at the rear. Don't light any torches. We know the way. Our enemies don't. The platoon moved with considerable speed and stealth, mindful of possible surprise attacks from the terrorist. Shiva was troubled by what he had heard, or rather, what he hadn't. Apart from the repeated explosions, there was absolutely no other sound from the palace. No screams of terror, no sound of panicked footsteps, no clash of steel, nothing. Either the terrorists had not begun their real attack as yet, or Shiva was late and the attack was already over. Shiva frowned as a third alternative occurred to him. Maybe there were no terrorists in the palace itself. Maybe the attack was being mounted from a distance with the Devi Astras that Sati spoke of. Shiva's platoon reached Daksha's chambers to find his guards at the door tense and ready for battle. Where is the emperor? Asked Shiva. He is inside, my lord, said the royal guard captain, recognizing the Nilkant's silhouette immediately. Where are they, my lord? We have been waiting for an attack ever since we heard the first explosion. I don't know, Captain, replied Shiva. Stay here and block the doorway. Taman, support the captain here with your men and remain alert. Shiva opened the emperor's door. Your Highness? My lord? Is Sati alright? Asked Daksha. Yes, she is, Your Highness, said Shiva as Sati, Nandi, and Veerbhadra followed him into the chamber. And the queen? Shaken but not too scared. What was that? I don't know, answered Daksha. I would suggest that you and Sati stay here for now till we know what's going on. Perhaps it may be advisable for you to stay here. Your Highness, we cannot risk any harm coming your way. I am going out to help Parvateshwar. If this is a terrorist attack, we need all the strength we have. You don't have to go, my lord. This is Devagiri. Our soldiers will slay all the terrorists dim-witted enough to attack our capital. Before Shiva could respond, there was a loud, insistent knocking on the door. Your Highness, request permission to enter. Parvateshwar, thought Daksha, observing protocol even at a time like this. Come in, growled Daksha as Parvateshwar entered. Daksha let fly. How in Lord Indra's name can this happen, General? An attack on Devagiri? How dare they? Your Highness, intercepted Shiva. Sati, Nandi, and Veerbhadra were in the chambers. He could not allow Parvateshwar to be insulted in their presence, least of all in Sati's. Let us first find out what is going on. The attack is not on Devagiri, Your Highness, glared Parvateshwar, his impatience with his emperor having put him on edge. My Scots saw massive plumes of smoke coming from the direction of Mount Mandar. I believe it an under attack. I have already given order for my troops and the station Arishtanemi to be ready. We leave in an hour. I need your permission to depart. The explosions were in Mandar? Pitratulya? Asked Sati incredulously. How powerful must they have been to be heard in Devagiri? Parvateshwar looked gloomily at Sati, his silence conveying his deepest fears. He turned towards Daksha. Your Highness? Daksha seemed stunned into silence. Or was that a frown on his forehead? Parvateshwar could not be sure in the dim light. Guard, light the torches, ordered Parvateshwar. There is no attack on Devagiri. As the torches spread their radiance, Parvateshwar repeated, Do I have your permission, my lord? Daksha nodded softly. Parvateshwar turned to see Shiva looking shocked. What happened, Shiva? Brihaspati left for Mount Mandar yesterday. What? Asked a startled Parvateshwar, who had not noticed the chief scientist's absence in the celebrations of the previous day. Oh Lord Agni! Shiva turned slowly towards Sati, drawing strength from her presence. I will find him, Shiva, consoled Parvateshwar. I am sure he is alive. I will find him. I am coming with you, said Shiva. And so am I, said Sati. What? Asked Daksha, the light making his agonized expression clear. You both don't need to go. Shiva turned to Daksha, frowning. My apologies, Your Highness, but I must go. Brihaspati needs me. As Parvateshwar and Shiva turned to leave the royal chamber, Sati bent down to touch the father's feet. Daksha seemed too dazed to bless her, and Sati did not want to remain too far behind her husband. She quickly turned to touch her mother's feet. Ayushman Bhava, said Virini. Sati frowned at the odd blessing. May you live long. She was going into a battle. She wanted victory, not a long life. But there was little time to argue. Sati turned and raced behind Shiva as Nandi and Veerbhadra followed closely.